Good day and welcome to Frontliner on Ogama TV, the platform where we dissect the issues shaping our nation, our continent, and the world. I am Chidiogo Asuke, and today we turn our attention to a matter that has gone beyond politics and diplomacy. It is about the value of human life, the responsibility of governments to protect citizens, and the commitment of African nations to the ideals of unity and mutual respect. For years, Nigerians and other African nationals living in South Africa have continued to face recurring xenophobic attacks, leading to the loss of lives, destruction of properties, and displacement of innocent people. Despite repeated diplomatic engagements, assurances, and condemnations, these attacks have persisted, raising serious questions about South Africans' commitment to protecting foreign nationals within their borders. Against this backdrop, Nigerian President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's decision to decline a direct meeting with a special envoy sent by South African President Cyril Ramaphosa has attracted widespread attention. Instead, the president directed the delegation to meet with the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, a move many observers interpret as a firm diplomatic message that Nigeria is no longer willing to accept repeated assurances without concrete actions.
It's with profound pleasure that I welcome our brothers from South Africa to this meeting, which we think it's very appropriate that we engage in discussions. And I bring good warm greetings from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who had actually asked us to meet with you and exchange views and perspective on how to address and resolve the ongoing Afrophobic attack in South Africa, of which Nigerians and other citizens of Africa have been victims.
This development can be viewed as a welcome and necessary steps in addressing what many perceive as South Africans' continued disregard for the principles of international diplomacy and its inability to effectively curb the recurring xenophobic attacks against foreign nationals, particularly Nigerians. Recent incidents, which reportedly claimed the lives of more Nigerian citizens, have once again highlighted the urgency of moving beyond rhetoric to meaningful actions.
We believe that it is not unusual for irritants to emerge, but we have seen a pattern that had become a concern to the Nigerian government, which is why Mr. President had asked that we sit down and begin to talk about this in the most frank and honest manner. We've seen a pattern emerge as early as 1995, in 1998, in 2006, in 2015, in 2016, 2019, 2021, 2024, and 2026. It is on record that from 2022 alone, 98 Nigerians have died in mob actions, in hate-related actions that we have called Afrophobia, because we found that the preponderant victims of this ugly situation are Africans and Nigerians in particular.
International diplomacy is founded on mutual respect, cooperations, and the obligations of every sovereign nation to guarantee the safety of all lawful residents within its territory. When citizens of another country repeatedly become victims of violence without effective protection or justice, it places a significant strain on bilateral relations and weakens confidence in diplomatic engagements. Nigeria and South Africa share a unique history. Nigeria stood firmly with South Africa during the anti-apartheid struggles, providing diplomatic, financial, and moral support when it was most needed.
He had asked me to reiterate that Nigeria and South Africa have enjoyed excellent relations We recall not just their role in the liberation struggle in South Africa and what we did to assist in dismantling the oppressive regime of apartheid. It recalls also with fond memory how after independence, after apartheid was abolished, we merged into an era of strategic partnership between the two countries, in which together we partnered in the transformation of the OAU to the AU. We also developed the new partnership for Africa development, given the kind of synergy and partnership that existed so very well between the two countries. Based on these premises as well, relations at bilateral level had expanded in leaps and bounds, covering all facets of human life, not least economic collaboration between our two countries.
That shared history makes the continued attacks on Nigerians particularly painful and difficult to reconcile with the ideals of African solidarity and Pan-African unity. Although South African authorities have consistently condemned xenophobia and maintained that criminal acts should not be mistaken for government policy.
The responsibility for enforcing immigration laws rests with the state and the state alone. There have been weaknesses in the way migration has been managed in our country. There have been weaknesses in rigorous and focused enforcement. We admit that. And there have been weaknesses of corruption. There have been gaps in our systems that have undermined public confidence. South Africans are entitled to expect better. We accept that responsibility, and we are taking decisive action to correct these shortcomings. South Africans have a right to expect a state that is effective, professional, and capable of enforcing its laws. Government will accordingly take action to address the expectations of our people in dealing with the challenge of the violations of our immigration laws. I must make it clear that only the authorized government officials may act against violations of the law, including violations of our immigration laws. No other person is allowed, for example, to confront someone in the street, in the pathways of our country, to demand proof of identity. We know that South Africans are not xenophobic, as there is no space for xenophobia, for racism, for sexism, for Afrophobia, or any other form of intolerance in South Africa.
Many believes that stronger preventive measures, swift prosecutions of offenders, and greater accountability are needed to reassure Nigerians and other African nationals that their lives truly matter. Now, as this diplomatic standoff unfolds, the Nigerian government should consider a number of decisive but constructive measures. Demand concrete timelines and measurable commitment from South Africa on preventing xenophobic attacks and prosecuting perpetrators. Pursue the matter through the African Union and other regional platforms to reinforce the obligations of member states to protect all Africans living within their borders. Strengthen Nigerians' diplomatic and consular presence in South Africa to provide rapid assistance, legal support, and emergency protection for affected citizens. Review bilateral agreements to include stronger provisions on the protection of foreign nationals and accountability mechanisms. Continue evacuation and reintegration support for Nigerians who choose to return home, while expanding economic opportunities that reduce forced migrations. Consider proportionate diplomatic measures where necessary, while keeping channels of dialogue open to achieve lasting solutions. As we draw the curtain for today's edition, it is worthy of note that the expectation of Nigerians is not for endless condemnations or expressions of regret, but for visible, concrete actions that will ensure no innocent person loses his or her life simply because of nationality. As Africans, our strength lies in our unity. That unity, however, must be built on justice, mutual respect, and the protection of every human life, regardless of nationality. Diplomacy is meaningful only when it delivers real security and real justice. This is Frontliner, where we ask the difficult questions, amplify the issues that matter, and advocate for accountability in the interest of humanity. For more updates and breaking news, don't forget to follow us on our socials on Facebook at Ogama TV, on Instagram at Ogama TV1, on X at Ogama TV, on YouTube at Ogama TV, and also visit our website at www.ogamatv.com. I remain Chidiogo Asuke, and I will see you again next week.
What's trending? What do you know? What are they not telling you? This Sunday, step into the front line of truth. Frontliner with Chidiogo, a bold new program on Ogama TV. We break down viral topics, analyze trending issues, and uncover the real story behind the headlines. No filters, no bias, just facts. Showing every Sunday only on Ogama TV. Frontliner, stay ahead, stay informed.